Good evening and welcome. My name is Ashley Hayes, and I will be your guide, along with the musicians of Ensemble on tonight's journey through space and time. Tonight we will explore space in a form of a cross-country road trip, a musical analysis of a sculpting process, and in the fleeting movements of dance. At times, the spaces will feel long and drawn out, and others frantic and compressed. I challenge you to accept and embrace these time warps. For as in art, as in life, traveling outside of one's comfort zone is the only way to make space for growth. We will begin with an original poem of mine. This piece is called Lucid. And there, along the perimeter, is a dreamscape in which all that I desire finds me. These walls, made of the breath of my beloved, the dust and glitter of my favorite song, My Mama's Rice and Gravy, the floors lined with the laughing kind of teeth. This holy space feels much like a beach, free of everybody who didn't text me back. Something of a wave of silent mists, that time, free of the pretense that space is only for the privileged, that time is only afforded to the wealthy. Here, it all belongs to me, and I am no alien. The air smells like something mutual, tastes like doing what I love and being visible in the doing.
Hi, my name is Corey Dundee. I recently completed a doctorate of musical arts and composition at the University of Michigan, and a couple months ago I just moved out to Los Angeles, California to do freelance composing and performing work. I am also a saxophonist. So the piece that you're going to hear performed this evening by Ensemble Veeam is titled Migration Miniatures, and it's quite a fitting piece for the situation in my life currently, because this piece is about the first journey that I made out to Los Angeles, which was after I completed my undergraduate degree at Indiana University, and I drove solo across the country out to LA to do a master's at the University of Southern California. So this piece is inspired by that road trip. It is a 7 minute or a 7 movement suite of short movements, each inspired by a particular moment that was very memorable to me on the road trip. So one of my favorite moments, something I hope you'll listen for, is in the fifth movement titled Downgrade. I was approaching Salt Lake City, these really steeply graded, windy highways in the middle of a canyon. And everyone's going 90 miles per hour. It's edge of your seat driving. And out of nowhere, an 18-wheeler full of pigs just squawking and honking is coming down and like cutting people off. And it was just such a wild moment. And I think you'll be able to hear that moment in the fifth movement if you listen closely. So please enjoy Migration Miniatures. Thanks again.
Road Trip by Kurt Brown. The new road runs along the old road. I can see it still imprinted on the earth not 20 feet away as I drive west past silos and farmsteads, fruit stands, and hogs. Once in Kansas, I stood in a field and watched the stars on the horizon revolve around my ankles. People are always moving, even those standing still, because the world keeps changing around them, changing them. When will the cities meet? When will they spread until there is a single city, avenue to avenue, coast to coast? What will we call the country is an underdeveloped area by the side of the road. There is no country, there is no road. It's one big national park, no longer the wilderness it was, but the old world exists under the present world, the way an original painting exists under a newer one. The animals know. Their ancient invisible trails cross and recross our own like scars that they have healed long ago. Their country is not our country, but another place altogether. Anything of importance there comes out of the sky. In Amarillo, the wind tries to erase everything, even the future. It swoops down to scrape the desert clean as a scalpel. Here, among the bones and bleached arroyos, the sun leans through my window at dawn to let me know I'm not going anywhere. There's no more anywhere to go. Excuse me, thank you. And now I'd like to invite VIM's composer, mentor, Emily Coe, to come speak about the next piece. Emily, please welcome.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Yes. Sorry, I can't see anyone from here. But hi, my name's Emily. I'm the composer for the next piece. And this piece was about 10 years old now, written in 2013, where in a different lifetime, I was a bass player, seriously. And as a bass player, I was trained in the orchestral tradition and played a little bit of solo music. But chamber music was really new to me at that time. And in 2013, my friends and I started a experimental improv band called the, one second. Yes. The Gentlemen's Very, Very High Art Society of South Waltham. Very funny name. And that was when I started playing real, like experimental improv music and thinking about how we all interact in an improv ensemble. And so there's a lot of people trying to play solos and other people who are trying to fill the space between those solos, which is kind of how I came up with the idea of this next piece, where each individual line could be played as a solo, but is also imitating one another throughout the entire work. So without further ado, enjoy Bridging Isolation.
Kissing in Vietnamese by Ocean Vuong. My grandmother kisses as if bombs are bursting in the backyard, where mint and jasmine lace their perfumes through the kitchen window, as if somewhere a body is falling apart and flames are making their way back through the intricacies of a young boy's thigh, as if to walk out the door, your torso would dance from exit wounds. When my grandmother kisses, there would be no flashing smooching, no Western music of pursed lips. She kisses as if to breathe you inside her, nose pressed to cheek so that your scent is relearned and your sweat pearls into drops of gold inside her lungs, as if while she holds you, death also is clutching your wrist. My grandmother kisses as if history never ended, as if somewhere a body is still falling apart. Before by Ada Limon. No shoes and a glossy red helmet, I rode on the back of my dad's Harley at 7 years old. Before the divorce, before the new apartment, before the new marriage, before the apple tree, before the ceramics in the garbage, before the dog's chain, before the koi were all eaten by the crane, before the road between us, there was the road beneath us. And I was just big enough not to let go. Heno Road, creek just below, rough wind, chicken legs, and I never knew survival was like that. If you live, you look back and beg for it again. The hazardous bliss before you knew what you would miss.
Hello everyone, my name is Viet Kwong, and I'm the composer of the next piece you're about to hear, which is called Wax and Wire. This piece is inspired by the sculptures of American artist Michael Gard. And when you see these sculptures, they are oftentimes of figurines such as ballet dancers, and they're woven out of wire, and he usually hangs them up so they sort of spin in the air, which is quite effective. And the way that he creates these sculptures is he first sculpts the figure out of wax, which then he weaves wire around, and then the final step of the process is he melts all the wax out. And so when I was writing this piece, I was inspired by both the sculptures as well as the process of creating them. And one thing you can listen for in this piece is the clarinet part, which is very unique in that it uses what are called quarter tones, which are the tones in between the half steps on the piano. So it's essentially dividing the notes on the piano in half to create quarter tones. And what this does is it essentially auto-tunes a violin gliss, where I layer a violin glissando with clarinet quarter tones, and I also layer piano half steps on top. So it creates a smearing effect that sounds almost like what I kind of think of as wax melting. So that's all I'll say about the piece, but I just want to say thank you to Ensemble Vim for programming it. It's very special to me that you're performing it just because I am from Georgia. I grew up in Marietta, so this is quite cool. So here's Wax and Wire. Thank you so much.
The World We Want Is Us by Alice Walker. It moves my heart to see your awakened faces, the look of, aha, shining finally on so many wide open eyes. Yes, we are the 99%, all of us, refusing to forget each other, no matter in our hunger what crumbs are dropped by the 1%. The world we want is on the way. Arundhati, and now we are hearing her breathing. The world we want is us, united, already moving into it. Thank you all. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Special thanks to the Music Performances Trust Fund for sponsoring this event, and to Matthew Brown and St. Luke's, who have so graciously allowed us to be their ensemble in residence this season and the next one. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible contribution to Ensemble VIM, know that every penny goes towards furthering our mission to present free, high-quality concerts within our community. Once again, I'm Ashley Hayes. You can find my name in the program. I'm on all the socials, Ashley Hayes. And you can also follow Ensemble VIM on Instagram, Facebook, at Ensemble VIM. Thank you all so much for having us. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Ensemble VIM. Have a great night.